I think if I hit this,
it should go.
3, 2. Oh, by the way, the horn's on the steering wheel. 1. Today, Calvin is gonna be the biggest help because he's the biggest wiring guy I know, and there's nobody else in the shop that has a better shot at figuring out than Calvin. As we are still waiting in for parts to come in for the 458, we're gonna try and tackle some wiring today and put back some of the interior pieces as we await the arrival of everything else.
Our primary goal is to get this wiring all done up and pretty like. Since we have no idea what's going on with this wiring harness, we're gonna try to find a wiring diagram using TJ's sources to label everything. I have a label maker to label the plugs because for all we know, an AC plug into a radiator plug, and that would be bad. So we're not gonna do that. We need to remove this guy because there's a whole bunch of AC equipment in the way of me trying to get this wiring all buttoned up. It seems like there's only 3 bolts to remove this whole windshield wiper motor. Ooh! And that's a Ferrari windshield wiper.
While Calvin is doing things that I simply just do not understand at the moment, I'm gonna be doing stuff that's kind of like first grade materials. I'm gonna start putting together all the front bumper pieces for the car. I'm trying to like get rid of all the boxes of miscellaneous pieces that we have laying around just to kind of tidy up our workspace, because as we're waiting for all the nuts and bolts and all the stuff to come in, kind of just a waiting game. But I wanna make sure that we keep our feet moving. I have some front wing splitter pieces and trims and some new sensors to install in the car, so let's go ahead and do that. Well, I originally wasn't gonna put these back in the car, but I decided that I was just gonna restore the car to its original state rather than skipping out. There are all these holes in the front bumper. That is for these parking sensors. These are the sensors so that when you like go up towards a wall or someone's next to your car, it like rings and kind of shows the depth of where you are. These are very helpful and very, very easy to put in the car. On the other side of the bumper, there's like these clips. All you do is simply just push them in.
Taking the new harness and labeling all of this that's on my screen onto here, so when we go to put it in the car, we just type in the reference number and know exactly where it goes into. So for instance, S080 is the trigger for the front tire pressure, and then we'll know if it goes to a tire pressure sensor, plug it in. Whatever code this wire corresponds to, I'm putting it on the wiring harness so that, again, when we go to put it in the car, we know exactly where it plugs in. And I'm gonna do it down this whole spaghetti strand.
20 minutes later.
I'm super proud of this because right now I'm just chasing the wires super blind, but I found one that was horn, and look, it fits. So you know we're gonna have to test it to make sure that I'm not cross-wiring things. I'm keeping a log of how far I've been going. Appendage, I changed it to arm, so arm 2, and then on the other down there is arm 1 and arm 3. I haven't done too much. There's quite a bit, probably like 20 or so. 20 ones that I've done so far, and I'm almost done. This is the last leg, and then I can put it on the car and test that horn.
I want to briefly interrupt the install today to say, boys, Valentine's Day is coming up quick. And if you haven't done anything for your ladies yet, this is a great opportunity to use my code TJ on SeatGeek and save yourself $20 off of your first purchase. If you guys do not know what SeatGeek is an app on your phone that allows you to buy tickets for things like concerts, events, local shows, sporting events. So if you guys are a fan of the NHL, or if you're a fan of the NBA, or maybe one of your local artists is in the area and you want to snag up some tickets, this is a perfect opportunity to quickly download the app and buy tickets for wherever you want as soon as possible. Once pulled up on your phone, it pulls up a seating map that easily labels the best seats from the worst seats, and it's all color coordinated. It makes buying tickets a lot less painful. If you are in need for a last minute Valentine's Day gift/date, use my code TJ and save yourself 20 bones off of your first ticket purchase. Thank you so much for SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get back to it.
Let's fly. Perfect day. Perfect day. Perfect
day. Perfect day. Perfect day.
Now that Calvin has finished labeling up the stock wiring harness, here is the old one on the car. And as you can see, it's just missing clips, it's missing a bunch of stuff. So here is the secondary one, and we pretty much need this whole entire new strand. So what Calvin is gonna do is he's gonna cut it off here and then cut it off here and then pretty much just resolder on this new arm to the existing wiring harness. That way it's cleaner, it takes up less time than replacing the whole entire harness, and it's much cheaper. Once he does that, we're pretty much gonna follow the string and pretty much do the same method to every other arm that is destroyed and just replace it with the new one.
Fly. Perfect day. Perfect day. Perfect day. Perfect day.
3 bones for hockey tape? Okay, so that took way longer than I expected, but I was able to get this very important fan harnessed on. It includes the grounds, it also includes the power. Now this side, and if you've seen the fans, they're pretty much a big deal because the radiators are huge. So we got that part on. There's only 1 bit left this side, and a few miscellaneous sockets that I need to solder on. After this is done, everything can just pop in like normal. When we get the bucket that's supposed to be here, when we get all the hardware to put the shrouds on, it's gonna be a Ferrari again.
While Calvin did that, I put the fenders back on, put the side skirts back on, and yes, they were on previously, but they weren't clipped in, they didn't have hardware, and I had to redo both of that. So I did the driver's side, and I also just did the passenger side and realigned these fenders. I didn't quite get to the interior today like I wanted to, so we're gonna pick this up in about 13 hours. I'll see you guys then. And we're back. Right now I'm diving into getting the steering wheel airbag on, which is pretty simple. As you can see, it looks like there's a screw here and a screw here. So I just dove into the steering wheel and I started sticking one of our torque splits in there and I found the screw. So let's get to it. The camera angle's really difficult, so bear with me here. These seats are cold in the morning. Oh, there she goes. Got it. Even though this airbag already went off, I'm still scared it's gonna blow up in my face.
Welcome to the dome.
I've never seen this clip before.
Ooh, hey, careful.
What? Don't say that. Don't say that. Battery is disconnected. Of course, the camera wasn't on when I got this out, but I got the second clip out, which actually got really difficult because I don't know how well you can see here, but this is the airbag that went off, and here is a brand new one. When it goes off, an airbag is like really like a bomb. It's a small explosion that releases the airbag, and obviously it gets extremely hot. And even on the back, it has all these like warning labels. And on this one, you can actually see it got so hot that the warning sticker bubbled and boiled and shriveled, and like the actual metal here expanded into a dome rather than just being flat like this one. And when it did that, it got so hot that the plastic receiver of this clip actually started to melt inside, which almost ruined these clips. Thankfully, I was able to salvage them, but if this was broke, I'd have to buy this, which would suck because it would just be more money and it would take a while to get. But I've been waiting for this moment. The new airbag cover is about to go in. This looks brand new, looks so good. Oh man, that looks sick. Oh, damn. I like almost waited to do that until the car was like done and on the road, but I had to do that now. New airbag is in. That is so satisfying. Trying to put the antenna back in, but it's really difficult to do this because I can't bend the seats back. Oh my God, that is, oh, I got it.
I just spent the last 3 hours doing this. Look at it, it's all back together. And as I said before, we're gonna test it by testing the horn.
That took you such a long time. I wanna just highlight that because I know we didn't show any of it. I decided literally not to show anything but a small time lapse of Calvin doing that. It took a matter of 2 days. It was actually much longer than 3 hours. It was a long time, and individually soldering and then heat shrinking, and he also labeled everything and double checked everything. I also didn't tell you that there were like 8 or 9 grounds within the harness that Calvin didn't know where they went to, and At first, Calvin's thought was, well, it's a ground, it doesn't matter. But then as we started talking about it among all of us here, depending on what ground went to which sensor, some sensors require grounds constantly and some only require it when there's like an accessory or an ignition. So long and short, it did matter. So every ground that was within the harness had to be chased all the way back to make sure it went to the proper sensor. So a lot of investigation went behind the mad scientist Calvin's method. This is the moment of truth as Calvin's grounding up the secondary harness. This hole in like, I want to get a good shot of this because just fan that out. It took Calvin a very long time, much longer than just maybe 3 hours of soldering, but much more collective time to figure that out. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna put the battery on the car and I'm gonna try to hit the horn. And our thought process is, this is the new harness that was not only just soldered onto the main harness, but this was spliced and already repatched. But if I hit the horn and this horn goes off, that means that the harness is working as a full circuit going through it. There's a lot riding on this, Cal.
There is a lot riding on this. I mean, to be fair, the only things that are connected to this bit of the harness is fans and the trunk latch.
And a bunch of weird like
Missing.
headlight washer sensors and stuff. We're really hoping this works because this is, my eyes, the scariest thing about this whole entire rebuild is that the harness was destroyed. We're gonna have to rebuild it and just chasing wires sucks. Before I connect this battery and give the car power supply, just because I don't want an airbag to explode in my face, and the thought of expecting that to blow up my face scares me, I'm actually gonna connect the battery from this side of the car because we just replaced that airbag and I don't want there to be a short somewhere, or because I screw with it, it's gonna explode. So, moment of truth, a little spark. Okay, airbag did not explode.
That's good, that's good.
What?
Is there less like...
No, dude, there's still so many warnings. It looks exactly the same.
Okay.
But I think if I hit this, it should go. 3, 2, oh, by the way, the horn's on the steering wheel. 1. Oh, that's awesome! That's so awesome, dude! Yeah! That's so awesome! Right!
There's a bunch of these holes, and TJ speculated that they're clip holes due to the shadow of the dirt. It feels good. It feels good to just see the clips. Dude, there's thing. Oh, and then this plugs into something.
This goes right into the front bumper sensors, so there'll be a whole new like string that we have ordered that like lines up to every sensor going down the front bumper.
S308. Fan resistors.
Those go into the fans. So slowly we're kind of seeing everything unravel itself, which is a really big sigh of relief. We've come to the stopping point for tonight. The driver's side harness is fully repaired and is for the most part clipped into the side of the front crash bar. And now we still need to do some repairs to the passenger side. Here is the harness we need to fix, and it's just missing a bunch of clips. And the spare repair harness that we got sent out was to another crashed one. But unfortunately, all the exact clips that we need off of a repair one are not on this one. We thought we were gonna be able to make it work, but after going over it, we're not. So either we have another harness that is still coming on our shipment, because as you guys know, we're still missing quite a few bit of things that are still on the way. Or we'll have to try and source another one or whatnot. Running out hardware for the whole entire car comes in tomorrow. So that means that we can start putting in our radiators and our lines, and that's really gonna expedite the process here, because like we said, we have a bunch of parts here, but we don't have the hardware to put it in. So all of that is coming very soon. Thank you guys for watching another Ferrari video. I will